I paid off $43,000 of debt using this very debt payoff strategy, and I still think it's the best one to use this year. But before we get into that, here's how these videos work. I'm building my personal finance community in public. So what I want to do first is go through YouTube comments. Think of it kind of like a YouTube Q&A where I give you guys kind of immediate value. So make sure to get those in there. We're going to do that. And then it's thoughts in my mind to help you reach your financial goals faster. So in this video, it is best way to pay off debt in 2025, which is this year. And then at the end, maybe some items that are happening inside the community, quick update. And again, I think this is going to provide value for you. But first, let's go to the YouTube comments. And the reason why we had this video today is because Hattie Tai, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, 5558, commented on one of my older videos and said, I love the snowball method. And because of that, I decided to make this entire video. Now, which one do I prefer? Well, we're going to talk about that. But first, we got to make sure I engage all this stuff. Yeah, me too. Woo. Okay, great. So make sure to get in there right now because, meaning the YouTube Q&A or comments, because this has happened like 3 times in the past week where I've just made a video based off of someone's comment on one of my YouTube channels because I just think it's like so relevant, and Hattie Tai's question, or I guess it's more of a statement, I think is super relevant for a lot of people. So thank you so much. And that's the YouTube Q&A portion. I really want this part to be like very overwhelming for me. I want to be able to keep scrolling down and down and down to see all these questions or comments or concerns, things you have in your personal finances, things like saving money, paying off debt, your mindset, budgeting, anything, okay? So the next part, we can do a little check for this. Now, what is the best way to pay off debt in 2025? Well, there's only one way to kind of look through it, and it's through, yes, a self-promotion. I made a free software tool. It's called Wealthway, and I've provided this free to my personal finance community. It's Dollar Discipline University. A link is down in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out. It's completely free, but right now it's only for that group of people. And I'm really, really most proud of it's your I would say it's your classic like budget tracking, debt management sort of thing, but I do think there's a lot of improvements. I'm not going to go through the whole walkthrough here. If you actually want to see that on my channel, if you go to the live streams, just as an FYI, and look for this one here, Stop Paying for Personal Finance Apps. It's a green little thumbnail here. Make sure to check out this one. That's like literally the walkthrough of Wealthway. But what I want to do now is just specifically talk about debt. And yes, my head is in the way here. So let's see if we can, I think it's going to be more effective if I'm over here. Yeah, let's do that for this video. Because there's a lot of stuff in that bottom right-hand corner that this just blocks. So let's do this. And what we have here on this debts tab, okay, I've entered all this information so that you don't have to kind of watch me type data, right? But we have a debt list, and this I've tested up to 25 line items. So if you have more than 25 line items of debt, I don't know if you're going to be able to enter them, but just be aware that you can add as many as you want. And I think that's great because there's some tools that kind of cut it off after maybe 5, 10, 15 or whatever. So if you have a lot, great. And how it works is just you enter the the creditor type. So maybe you could put credit card, you could put Amex here, whatever you want to do. Current balance, and I'll show you in like the editing screen here. You enter your current balance, your interest rate, what your minimum payment is, and then what your current monthly payment is. So for the purposes of this exercise, I'm saying that the minimum and the current monthly payments are the same, okay? Now, what's great about this is you can just edit, like I said, or you can delete. I'm not going to delete, but this is a very simple way to add it. You could just simply click add a debt and add all your stuff here. So this is the, data entry tab. Excellent. Let's get to the good stuff here. This is the payment calculator tab. And what this is doing is this is kind of a playground for you to kind of figure out the math behind all your debt. Like if you pay a little more, what's going to happen? If you pay a little less, what's going to happen? If there's just playing out all these scenarios using different strategies. So the strategies that I've been talking about kind of indirectly, I suppose, to start this video are the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. So if you're not familiar, quickly, the debt snowball You rank your debts in order of smallest loan to highest loan totals, and you pay off them in that order. So you pay off the $500 loan, then the $1,000 loan, then the $2,000 loan, then the $5,000 loan, okay? Just as an example. And the benefit here is you're going to get a faster win. It's going to be better psychologically for you, most likely, that you're paying off the small one first. It's going to happen probably pretty quick. And you're just going to prove to yourself that you can do it. And you can succeed with this, and you can make it happen. So that's that one. The debt avalanche method, we pay the debts in order of highest interest rate to lowest interest rate, right? So think paying off the debt with 28% interest rate, then 22, then 18, then 12, right? You get the point. And the benefit here is you're going to be definitely saving money because interest is the killer when it comes to debt. So when you're paying off the higher interest rate faster and first, it's going to be going away soon. And then I have a custom area over here, which I will talk about in a moment. But underneath, down at the bottom, now you can see is this payment plan, just kind of summary. And we have new sections here. So we obviously still have the debt name, the balance, the interest rate, the monthly payment. But now we have these columns, total interest and debt-free date. So based on the information that we've entered for all of these, it's telling us, hey, here's the amount of interest that you're going to be paying for each of the line items, okay? And here's the debt-free date. So you can see just on this information, May 2037. Now I'm recording this video in 2025, so 12 years, it's a long time. It's a long time for $65,000, right? But we want to make it a little faster, right? So let's say first we toggle through the strategies. So once I click on Snowball, you're going to see down here some of these changing, right? And that's because the strategies changing. So this payment plan is automatically linked to the strategy that you choose, which is really cool. And then there's this other section that gets unlocked when you add a extra monthly payment. Now this is the part of it where you're playing around with your numbers. So we said on the entry list here, the data entry, that we make $950 minimum payment, okay, in total. So let's say we wanted to add $100. Now you're going to see I'm going to start typing, and an extra section is going to be added at the bottom here. So now let's test. The extra $100 is testing, and now we're going to be paying $1,050 instead of $950. These are not actual payments or anything like that. It's just again, it's like a testing ground for you to see what's kind of going on. Now we have this new section. It's called strategy comparison. It's very, very, very cool. I haven't seen anything like this on any other like debt softwares that I've seen. So I like this a lot. What it shows is the comparison between Snowball and the Avalanche, again, based on if you were to add an extra $100 towards your debts, right? So you have the total interest here, you have the total time it's going to take with the debt-free date, and then the total paid, meaning the total interest plus the total principal. And that's in total, that's just not one of the debts, right? So I think this is really important. And the Avalanche has the same over here, and you can kind of compare and contrast. But I think it's really important to show, I intentionally added the total paid, because I think a lot of times, and I was guilty of this too when I had $43,000 of debt. And before that when I had probably more. But I don't know, because I wasn't really tracking it until I had 43. If you were to have, say, $65,000 of debt, how much would you tell someone that you have in debt? Like if we got on a private one-on-one call and I'm like, hey, so how much debt do you actually have? And you'd be like, would you say, I have $65,000 in debt? Or would you say, hey, it's actually gonna cost me $120,000? That just hits differently, right? That hits completely differently, where you're like, whoa, like I thought I was walking around with $65,000, but based on what I'm doing, I'm actually walking around with $120,000 of debt that I owe, right? Because of all the interest. And that's why trying to, it's easier said than done, but find extra money in our finances, $100 makes a huge difference. If we go back to zero really quickly, our debt-free date is May 2037. And if we add an extra $100, the debt-free date is April 2034. So we saved 3 years. Excellent. And then also the interest. I should probably add a total on the bottom, but let's see here. Let's see if we can do some quick, easy math, right? If I have $0 in total interest, we have like 65, 66, we'll say $68,000 of interest, okay? And then if I add the $100 in here, we have maybe 41, 43. So it's like 20, what is that, $25,000 of interest just by simply paying an extra $100 a month. So we save, what was it, 3 or 4 years, we saved $25,000 of interest just by an extra $100. Anyone can find $100. Like, trust me, it's in there. People have had awesome success using kind of a framework inside the community to find their extra $100 and apply it towards debt. There's been some awesome wins in there. And the other thing I like about this is the comparison. Like, each strategy, Snowball and Avalanche, they each have their own benefit, like we talked about earlier. So this strategy comparison is simply just pointing out the benefit. So in this, the Avalanche saves $11,000 compared to the Snowball. And the Snowball gets the first debt paid off 25 months faster than the Avalanche for early motivation, right? So at this point, it's like, okay, I have all the information. Now I just have to pick one. I just have to pick one. So on top of that, I just added an extra wrinkle for everyone in case they wanted to do a custom strategy. So what we can do here is, I'm going to scroll to try to get all this on the screen. You can sort of drag and drop your debts in order of how you want to pay them off, and then it will compare all of them down here. It will compare the custom to the Snowball and or the Avalanche, okay? Because right now you can see that the total paid, right now the Avalanche and the custom are set up the same way. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit just so we can get 3 different scenarios. Perfect. Yeah, so let's say you're like, you know what? I got to get rid of this car loan first. You just have a vendetta against this car loan. You're like, I don't care if the math says no, I just got to get rid of it, right? Whatever. And by the way, I don't care what strategy you use. I personally think there is a, we'll get into that. We'll get into my feelings on which one. But you can see here, so now like for the Snowball, it's showing, okay, total paid 119, Avalanche total paid 108, custom total paid 121. So they're all different dollar amounts. They all have slightly different debt-free dates, okay? So it's really at this point just something that you have to choose. You have to pick. And then what I also didn't show you is down here, let me just get it out of the custom. Down here, it's going to show you, okay, we're making an extra $100 payment. Boom, here, this one, the student loan, is where we want to apply it. So it's just simply showing you, hey, this one is where the debt needs to go. So that's kind of that section. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments of this video. And again, it's going to be part of the first part of, the next video that I do. So part of the Q&A or whatever. So this other tab is the payment schedule tab. Now, what we can do here is, it's also sort of a testing ground. It just shows the data a little differently. Instead of that summary form, and now we're looking at it as in a detailed form. So it's the same situation where, okay, we're paying the $950 a month. What would happen if we added the extra $100? And you're going to see the stuff below start changing as I'm adding it, which is very cool. And now it's going to show us literally the schedule, how it's going to play out over the next however many months this is. So what it's going to do is it's going to show you the $100 was the minimum payment that we're making plus the extra $100. So now it's showing, hey, $200 is going towards this student loan, and it's the priority. The software is telling us pay off this one first, right? So it's simply just showing you, hey, these are the payments that you need to make, right? So if we scroll all the way down to when this one gets paid off, and then you'll see, boom, February 2030, this gets paid off. It says paid off. And then what happens is, and why paying off debt is so cool and powerful, is once you pay off that first one, all that money that you're paying in that first one, just roll it into the next one. Okay, we don't want to pay off this debt and then have $200 and then use it towards something else in life. We want to roll it into the next one. That's how this whole process works, and that's how you build momentum. So what this is doing, you could see on January 2030, right? We paid $200 for this loan, $500 for this loan. But once this gets paid off, now we're taking the $200 and we're moving it to this row here, this column. And now it's $700. And it's showing us, hey, the original $500 plus the extra $200 that we're rolling up. And then you scroll all the way down. Let's try to find where it pays off again. Boom. And then this one here is going to, the $700 is going to get moved to the last one. And then this is where you start cooking with fire, because now we have all the money that we have possible on one debt. And that's how it just goes away a lot faster. So this part's really cool if you want more of the detail. And again, you can play around with this as well. You can change the dollar amount. You can change the strategy here. I did add minimum payments only just to show you. I hate that I put it under the word strategy, but I do want people to see that it's just a very, I don't think it's really a strategy. You're doing the bare minimum. And I don't mean to be like mean or anything like that, because back in the day, that's what my wife and I used to do. We just thought like, hey, we're just going to make our payments required and we're going to move on our merry way, right? But it's just for some context. So, but anyway, you can pick the snowball, the avalanche, or the custom order that you selected in the other tab, and minimum payments as well. So it's just another way to kind of play around with it. And you can see like even the detail. If I switch from avalanche to snowball, all this stuff changes down here and all the information. So it's all connected, and it's just a playground for you. You can look at it, summary schedule or detailed schedule by debt. So you can look at this payment schedule, only the payment schedule, and it provides a little more information like, okay, we're paying this much. Here's how much is going to the interest. Here's how much is going to the principal, and then what the remaining amount is. And I think this is another misconception that a lot of people have, where it's like, okay, cool, I paid off $600 towards debt, when really it's like, well, it only went down $142, right? So it's just things that we have to think about. And this is the frustrating part about debt, because you're like, wow, I'm putting everything I can, and just all the money is going to interest. It's just it's just so common and so annoying, right? And then over here, we can look at the progress. And it's just a quick little summary with some visuals, okay? So it's like, hey, where are we? In August, this was our starting balance. And just for context, I started all of this in the July tab. So if I go to July, you'll see that the starting balances are the $25,000, the $30,000, and the $10,000. So every month you pay off a debt, or put money towards a debt, I should say. Everything will update based on the actual payments that you made in that month, which is very cool. And then it's going to show you, here's the starting balance, and now here's the current balance after your payment of the $142. Here's how much principal we paid, right? The total payments, and then the progress that we made. So this is 0.6% paid down. That's a little discouraging, right? But we're going to keep amping that up. And then the projected debt-free date based on, again, all the information that we've put in so far, right? So yeah, that is that's the debt section of this. Again, I don't want to go through a full tutorial of Wealthway. Make sure to check out that other video. Where is it? This one here. Stop paying for personal finance apps. Do this instead. Okay, it's a live stream that I did, so make sure to go check that out. So I think we can say we checked off. Oh, I didn't say which one I thought was better. So yeah, I'm sure everyone's just clamoring, waiting to hear what I have to say, right? Here's what I would say is, when my wife and I were paying off $43,000 of debt at the time, we didn't know we were doing this, but we ended up using the debt snowball method. And it's because we had 12 loans, 12. And we saw that 4 of them were under, it was like $1,200 or something like that. So it's like, okay, let's just get rid of these 4. And then we go from 12 to 8, like, I don't know, as quickly as we can. And what happened is the same thing with what we saw on that detailed sort of payout, where it's like you pay off one and you're rolling hundreds of dollars to the next one, and then you pay off that, and then it's even more hundreds of dollars, and you just keep stacking everything on top of it. And at the end, the last couple debts had like, it was like thousands of dollars. It was nuts, because it was nuts. But that's the fun of it. So we chose the debt snowball. Now, if you're new to this, or you think you maybe would be inconsistent, or you think there would be, if there is some, how do I say this? Like, if there's some like fragility, like about personal finances, meaning like that was too fancy of a word. If there's like, if you're nervous around personal finances and you just aren't confident with your money, I would say just get the win. Get the quicker win with the snowball method. Yes, you'll end up losing money in the long run, but just get the quick win. Or you could do like a custom strategy where you get the quick win of the smallest one, and then maybe you switch to the avalanche method where now you're just cranking out the debt. So get the quick win, realize that you can do this, because if anyone can do this, okay? Literally anyone. And that's, again, one of the things that I kind of share inside the community is how to do that even deeper than kind of this video goes into. But so I would say debt snowball method. But also if someone walked up to me and said, I'm using the debt avalanche method, I was like, I'd say that amazing, right? That's incredible. So let's go back to our little to-do here. I'm going to shove myself back over. Perfect. So let's talk about some community activity, because I think there's a couple awesome things that happened today. First, let's do my update, and then someone else had an amazing win. You guys are going to want to just kind of see this. Okay, cool. So this one, basically I made this post, and I'm not going to read this whole thing in front of you, but what I'm starting to do is, and my last couple of videos, if you guys watch me regularly, I appreciate you, but over the last couple of days, I've been talking about these challenges that I'm going to be doing. So originally what I used to do is say, hey, come to the community and any new member gets a free strategy call. The problem with that is that's not enough value for you guys. Like there's no inherent value, because most of you have never really met me or talked to me or know what I can or can't do. So it's like, unless you're like, if you're like really into what I'm saying and you really trust me or something, that has almost no value. So what I'm going to be doing instead is, and I think I have to draw this. So I'm going to be calling it, I don't know what I'm going to be calling it. I guess it's like a 2-day like sprint. I have to find a better name. That's obviously not the name. But the whole point of this is to help you find an extra $100 or more per month. And the power, this framework is what I call the power of $100. And what I'm going to be, what this is entailing is basically just every week I'm going to be doing this 2-day sprint. So how I'm thinking about it is like this. So on Tuesday, Thursday, 1 week, I'm going to do this. Okay. And it's going to be 30-minute calls each. And it's going to be group calls, 30-minute group calls. And it's for every new member that sort of joined within the last week or maybe missed the last one or something like that, right? And then after that, can I just duplicate all this? See, this is the problem here. Why can't I duplicate all of this? Okay, no problem. And then another week, maybe I'll do like Wednesday, Friday. And it's going to be the same thing, 30-minute group calls. And what I've been noticing is, first of all, based on my schedule and the time zones that I'm in, it's going to be sort of like North American time zones, unfortunately, only because the times that I have available to work are in my evenings. I'm on the East Coast. So what I want to do is make it accessible to both of the coasts, hopefully. So one of these weeks will be like 8 p.m. Eastern. One of the weeks will be 9 p.m. Eastern, for example, just to hopefully get everyone. So I'm thinking the 9 p.m. Eastern, if someone on the West Coast like rushes home, they could probably get to this. It's kind of annoying now. I do apologize, but I do want to try to get everyone in here. But so first of all, let me know if that interests you at all, if you would be interested in this. Basically, if you've never budgeted before, or it's been inconsistent, or you're just in that paycheck to paycheck grind, and you get to the end of every month and you're like, man, I thought I was supposed to put more money towards saving money or paying off debt this month, and you do it again. It's like, oh man, no, I really got to be thoughtful. And then you start being like really thoughtful, and then 2 weeks in you have an unexpected expense and it blows everything up for the month, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't do it again. So This little challenge, it's free by the way, is for people like that. So if that's you and that sounds interesting, that's going to be sort of what I do to help kind of new members get acclimated to the community and just get like a really, really quick win. And the reason why I'm creating a gap here, by the way, just to be fully transparent, is there is a little homework, right? There is a little homework that you're going to have to do. So if you don't want to make any effort at all, then maybe it's not for you. But if you actually want to make a change, some people have done this, homework in 30 minutes. Some people have done this homework in like 3 hours. It depends on how organized you are, how many like bank accounts, credit cards you have, basically however many accounts you have to buy stuff in. And I realize I'm not sharing my screen. So this is what I've been drawing over here. So yeah, the reason why I split up Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday is for that reason. Because I have a 9-to-5 job, and I think a lot of other people do as well in this community. So I think it's very reasonable to not expect people to be able to do a like 24-hour turnaround, especially like if I'm doing it late at night and then expect people to do it during their workday. That's a tough ask. So that's why I'm doing it like that. We're gonna try it. But the bad news is because of all the consistent and frequent times that I'm going to have to be spending now, I am getting rid of the free strategy calls. So first of all, if you've made it 26 minutes into this video, you deserve to know that this is the last week of me doing the strategy calls for new members. So if you have been on the fence for whatever reason to book it, you just got to join. Or if you're in there, just let me know, send me a message like, hey, I'd love to book that free strategy call with you. I am absolutely going to do it. I'm doing like a sort of a sunset period because this is the thing that I've done for like 9 months in this community. So it's kind of sad to go. I've really had some great conversations, like individual private conversations. And I think it's great, but I also think that this new strategy, the 2-day sprint to join the community, is just going to provide you more value at the end of the day. I think I was just doing the strategy calls, to be quite honest with you, for me, for more like kind of practice chatting with people and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like this is way, way better for you. Like you just get an instant win instantly. And it's going to be, again, it's group coaching. So it's like, you don't want to be the one that's like in last place, not last place, but like slacking or, oh, I didn't do the thing when everyone else is like doing it and crushing it. Right. You don't want to be that person. So very cool. Let me know your thoughts on that. I do have one other thing that I wanted to share with you. Okay, we have a new post. We'll look at that in a second. Zaraha. I hope I didn't butcher that at all. But these wins are so cool to me because I have not talked to Zaraha. Sometimes I get it. Like I send messages to people, but life gets in the way, right? But Zaraha just put in a win post here, and it's just so cool. Here's what they said. One thing I've realized since joining Dollar Discipline University is that the little changes add up faster than I thought. For me, I recently cut out 2 unused subscriptions and started tracking my spending daily using Chris's budgeting system, and it was surprising how quickly I started noticing the difference. Yeah, I love this so much. It made me realize discipline doesn't have to feel like a huge sacrifice. Sometimes it's just a shift in awareness. Like, I don't know. People are going to think that I wrote this or something. Like, it's so perfect because it's so true. It's like all the stuff that I talk about all the time. And then they asked, I'm curious, what's been the smallest change you've made since joining the community that's given you the biggest results so far? So just so cool. So cool. Again, I literally have not talked to this person, and they joined the community. They started doing the thing, and they got results. Now, is Zaraha going to get rich from cutting 2 unused subscriptions? No, right? Unless they're like subscriptions to, I don't know, owning a private island or something. They're not going to make Zaraha rich, but it's more of the thought where it's like, are these things important to me? Or would I rather put that money towards paying off debt, saving money, etc.? So just so cool. It made me realize discipline doesn't have to feel like a huge sacrifice. Sometimes it's just a shift in awareness. That's like my motto in this community. It's so cool. So Zaraha picked up on that, and I'm in love with this win here. Let's check out the new post. Let's see if it's One task down. Okay. Okay, we have another win. This is cool. I've not read this yet. Let's see. So this is from Nicole. So I'm new here, and since joining, I finally sat down and put all my credit cards on paper so I can visually see what I am spending on them. I've set up payment system to my utilization to get my utilization down, and so far it's working. Next is my subscription. That is awesome. See, like again, like I have not had a direct conversation with Nicole, and she just like started doing stuff. Just so cool. Okay, so I love my community so much. So if you're interested in any of that, if you're still watching this, you got to get in here. Like I said, these videos I'm building in public. I want to help more people, right? That's just like kind of my mission here. Yes, at the end of the day, this is like my business, but it's also just, it makes me so happy when people are just crushing it. Again, like especially I've created this community. Yes, there are ways, like if you want to work with me to kind of maybe speed up your progress, I have ways to do that. But I also set it up in a way that you can just join, you can do a thing, you can just start doing the stuff that I share in the community, and you can just win. And that's kind of the quick win mindset that I'm trying to do with these little 2-day sprints every week. Okay. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. And make sure, guys, Q&A on the YouTube channel. Make sure to get in here because now we are empty, and you're not watching my shared screen. There we go. Now we are empty. Okay. So I will. I'm doing these every day. I'll see you tomorrow.